Channel 4, check, check, check. Channel 4, check, check, check.
Channel 4, check, check, check. Good morning. Welcome to Legends of the Fall. Can you hear me, Caleb? Okay, Caleb, can you hear me on Channel 4?
Yeah, he already said it.
Did he? I couldn't hear him, so.
Good morning and welcome to the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall. I am Miles Hasquist alongside my good friend from across the pond, Mr. Jim Marsden. How's it going, buddy?
Good morning, Miles. It's fantastic to be here. What an amazing place. I've never been to Disney, Oklahoma before, and my word, it's incredible, isn't it? This course just absolutely rocks.
It is absolutely amazing. We are here at South Grand Lake Recreational Area, just outside of Langley, right here in Disney, Oklahoma, for Mid-America Outdoors and Ultra 4 USA, and we had just started qualifying for the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. It looks like Tom Biddle is out on course. Qualifying is a little bit different this year. We're doing about a quarter-mile drag strip. There's a couple little ledges and then a little rock section with a splash pass, and we'll get a time for Tom Biddle here very shortly.
Yeah, Tom Biddle's already up there with a 54 seconds, which is good indeed. Now check this out. We've got live on course right now, and as Miles just said, this is a drag race. So later on today, we're going to be seeing all the classes out on course. But first of all, out there right now is the 4600s.
And on course right now is Albert Contreras with his nephew Danny riding shotgun number 4605 out of Compton, California with Jeep Thrills Off-Road. He's in a Jeep JL factory engine transmission Atlas. King, Raceline, Mickey Thompson, and Mastercraft helps him get through. I guess that 37-second mark is going to get faster as the day goes on.
Yes, indeed, and these guys are going to be a little bit damp under the collar as well. As you can see them flying through the finish there, and it looks like they've actually picked up a flat tyre on that offside rear.
And I think flat tires are going to be a very common theme today.
A very common theme throughout this weekend, Mars. This track is all rock, every single last millimetre of it. And these rocks have been excavated out by millions of years of erosion. And it's just amazing to be allowed to race in such an incredible area.
Up next is going to be John Williams, number 4623, out of Murray, Utah, with Active Air. He's in a Jeep LJ with a stock auto transmission transfer case. Dyna 60 with ARB, Active Air Technology, BFG, Hutchison Wheels, SDI, E-Click Shocks. This is going to be an amazing morning of qualifying. It's only 45 degrees out here, but you can see the beautiful trees out here in this amazing little river bed. This rock is extremely hard granite. There are multiple water crossings. Later on today, it's going to be a 5-mile race, 1.5 hours plus a lap. It's going to be amazing. But right now, it is qualifying for the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class.
Yes, and as our next runner comes across the line, gets a shower for his troubles.
So in the 4600 Spider Track stock class, you have to have a stock OEM frame. Wheelbase must be within 3 inches.
Yeah, it has to have a factory engine and may be replaced with any available engine in make, model, or year, factory transmission, and the most important one, 35-inch DOT tires.
You can have a single 2.5 shock per corner, unless from anything else from the factory. Factory-style suspension, mechanical steering, and etc. Up next is Kendall Glines. He's got, I believe it's Braden Glines, his son, riding shotgun with him out of number 4689 out of Midvale, Utah, with Glines Motorsports. He's in a Jeep with a 4.0. Dana 300, Yukon, King, Optima, MRT, KMC, Terraflex, Factor 55, Nemesis, Lone Peak, Collision. So what are times we have over there, Jim?
Yeah, we're just looking at the fastest times right now, and we're looking at Albert Contreras. He's actually leading the pack at the moment with a 37.685. So a flying start there from Albert Contreras.
And if you want to go to the same timing we have up here in the Nitto studio, go to live.ultra4racing.com for our live timing. And if you are tuning in everywhere, make sure you go to that MAO app. We have it on Google and Apple. Go to the ultra4racing.com/live. Go to the Ultra 4 and MAO Facebook and YouTubes. Hit that share button, start a watch party, and let's get this party started.
Absolutely. It looks like that's the first one of our Broncos off the line, and that is Brad Lovell, the man himself. Now, we were talking to Brad yesterday, and he was stopped out on course with the hood up, looking like he had some problems, and he was saying that there's never raced in so much water before, and that the water was starting to get into the electrics, and that could be a factor during the main race.
And how cool is it that he is leading the national points and the Western Series, and then on Sunday he's going to get inducted in the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. Number 4621 out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, with Lovell Racing.
Look at this, and that's going to be sub 30 seconds, that's for sure. We're just waiting now for the scoring to come up there, and sure, oh no, it's not, it's 31.85. And you saw the speed that Brad was covering there. Absolutely amazing the way he puts that Bronco across the ground.
So we do have a new fastest time with Brad Lovell, that 31 seconds.
I honestly thought he was going to break that 30-second barrier there for a moment. Now, the stock class is one of my favourite classes. I mean, just look at this Jeep. Absolutely awesome bit of kit. And the wonderful thing about our 4600 stock class is it's such an easy way to come into Ultra 4 racing. You don't have to spend millions of pounds to do it. Just a good, well-prepared
or dollars.
Or dollars. You can spend dollars if you like. They're not the same, you know.
What a great day of racing it is. We're qualifying now, and it's just getting started. It's going to be an amazing weekend. This is a double points race for nationals in both East and West. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
And we see our race director there, JT Taylor, sending the next car off the line.
And that's the number 4688, John Schaefer, with Sergio riding shotgun out of Birmingham, Alabama, with RPM Extreme. He's got a savvy-built 2015 Jeep JK stock drivetrain, Curry axles, ADS, Falcon, Raceline, Sparco seats, and RPM Extreme.
Now, you look at the way these cars cover the ground. I cannot impress on you enough just how rough and how gnarly this course is. It's going to be really tough on tyres over the weekend. It's going to be interesting to see how much that plays a part in this.
Attrition's going to be extremely busy out there on course. And look how much water he takes. He takes
absolutely.
It's a little less rocky out there, but a lot more water. So I'll be interested to see his time on that.
Yeah, that really is a cold shower first thing in the morning. That is going to be very damp indeed.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day, but it's a little brisk this morning. It was 40 degrees when they took off.
Yeah, and John Schaffer comes in there with a third position. He's on a 37.9.9. So great run there for John.
And off the line in his first ever Ultra 4 race, Joe Fabrizio with Nathan Ramsey riding shotgun out of Helena, Montana with Some Fear Racing and Team Montana. They bought this car online and have it delivered here to Disney. It's a Cherokee running Falcon tires, Raceline, and a Radflow. So a really fun story. They run around with Eric Weichel. They've been doing pit crew and stuff, and they fell in love with the Ultra 4 USA, and they're out here racing. So obviously no seat time in that car, but they're out here having a time of their lives.
That's what we love to see. We love to see people getting involved in the sport. And they're doing pretty good here, Miles. It's not going to be the fastest time on the clock, but I can bet you they got grins from ear to ear as they pick their way through this prologue course here at Legends of the Fall in Disney, Oklahoma.
This is the first ever Legends of the Fall. We're in the South Grand Lake Disney Recreation Area. We've been working hard to collaborate with GDRA in the towns of Disney and Lakely, Oklahoma, to put on the first ever national level off-road racing series event here at South Green Lake Recreational Area. Up next is Mr. Alex Fleming. with Will Oliver riding shotgun number 4628 out of Fort Collins, Colorado with Sherpa Motorsports.
Yeah, and Joseph Fabrizio came in with a 1 minute and 2 seconds, so a nice steady run for them.
Slow but steady, but keeping the car together. So Alex Fleming in a 2004 Toyota 4Runner with IFS, Stock V8, Yoda Mafia, Yukon, Nexen Tires, Warn, Optima Batteries, Factor 55, King, and Black Rhino.
Now, this is a very interesting car. You've just picked up on the point there that it is actually an IFS car. So if it's built with IFS, when it comes out the factory, they can keep that IFS. Now, is that going to be an advantage in the rocks this week?
Well, time will tell. I think there's a lot of fast sections here as well, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure, but it's a very big, very heavy-looking car, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And Alex Fleming crosses the line with a 41.96, so a nice steady run there from Alex.
Off the line next is the number 4642, Adam Collin with Doug Lanford riding shotgun out of Latham, New York with Rock Crawler Racing. He's in a 2004 Jeep LJ with Curry axles, Yukon, Nitto, Dirty Life, and Rock Crawler suspension.
As we're watching him live on course, let's catch up with our top three. In third position at the moment in the 4600 stock class, it is John Schaffer with a 37.9. In second place is Albert Contreras with a 37.68. And in first position is that man himself, Brad Lovell, with a 31.8. Now, we've got some big guns coming up in this class very shortly. We've got Bailey Cole and, of course, Vaughn Gittins Jr.
And they've been battling all year long with their Ford Performance teammate, Brad Lovell. So it's going to be an interesting showdown between the stampede of Broncos. But I think this is going to be a very equal playing field. It's going to be an amazing race. We have 13 4600 Spider Track stock class vehicles out there going to be battling on course. Let's run across the top five in national points as Brad Lovell, Vaughn Gittins Jr., Bailey Cole, John Williams, and Kendall Glines. In the West Series, it's Brad Lovell, John Williams, Albert Contreras, Alex Fleming, and Kendall Glines. In the East, it's Vaughn Gittin, John Schaefer, Bailey Cole, Brad Lovell, and John Williams. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out.
Okay, no, it's absolutely fantastic. And still we're qualifying here. Let's not forget we're going to be running through all of the classes here today, one class after another.
Off the line next is the number 4664, Jeremy Purick out of Waterford, New York with Rock Crawler Racing. He's in a Rock Crawler JKR 392 4L80E, Atlas, Curry Axle, Rock Jock Axles, Nitto, Vision, and Fox.
Yeah, and Kendall Glines just sneaks into fourth position there with a 38 dead. It's a great run there from Kendall.
So my 37-second mark has already been beat in the stock class. So what do you think the 4400 cars? Are you think we're going to be in that 22-second mark?
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing people right the way down there, sort of around that 22 seconds, 23 seconds. Let's not forget we got some guys out here with some heavy, heavy horsepower. Paul Herschel, of course, he's running that big Danzio 620 motor, putting out something like 1100 horsepower. Oh, looks like we might have a problem here.
He's at that last little rocky section before he splashes through and goes through the timing loop.
Yeah, might need a sundial to time this one.
This is an amazing way of qualifying. I really like this style. Just basically a quarter-mile drag with a little bit of rock crawling and then some water splashing. Up next is Mr. Bailey Cole, sitting third in Nationals and third in the East. Number 13 is Bailey Cole out of Everett, Washington with Bailey Cole Racing in a 2021 Ford Bronco called Tigger. Ford Performance, factory engine and transmission. IFS with portals, Spider Tracks, Yukon, 4-wheel parts, Fox, Warn, VP, Vision, Yokohama, Baja Design, 74 Weld, and FK.
Absolutely, and just look at the pace of this young man. We've been watching him race since he was only in his early teens, and he just gets better and better and better. Full commitment here from Bailey as he makes his way through. Just the water splash, backs off a little bit there.
Oh, gets a little slideways there.
Yeah, he's chasing that 31 seconds, and I don't think he's beaten it. No, he has not. Bailey Cole crosses the line with a 33.7. So still our leader right now with a 31.8 is Brad Lovell.
And then off the line as we speak is Mr. Vaughn Gittin Jr. with Eric Davis riding shotgun out of Concord, North Carolina, the number 2567, the Fun Haver Off-Road Team. He'll be playing double duty today. He'll be racing later on in the 4400 class as well. He's in a 2021 Ford Bronco called Bucky with a factory engine transmission front diff, IFS with portals, Spider Tracks, Fox Shocks, Nitto, Monster Energy, Optima, MBRP, VP, Warn, Factor 55, Rugged, Shell Rotella, Impala, Project X, Holly, RECARO seats, gear wrench, RTR, and centerline wheels. We'll see what kind of time he can throw up against Brad Level, and he moves into that second position with a 32.397 for Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Yes, as we guessed, it's a complete lockout for the Broncos there. Brad Lovell in first place with a 31.8, Vaughn Gittin Jr. with a 32.3, and Bailey Cole with a 33.7. Miles is stepping out the booth for a moment, but we've got a very good friend of ours coming in to join us right now, as still the action continues with the 4600s out on course. Joining me on the stage right now, it's none other than Terry Madden.
Morning, Jim.
How you doing, my friend?
Great to see you.
Always a pleasure, always a pleasure. So what are you doing out here this weekend?
We're just running Can-Am, hanging out, having fun, visiting friends.
Fantastic.
Enjoying the festivities.
Now, isn't this an amazing place? It's our first time here at Disney, Oklahoma. And what do you think of the course?
Oh, I love it here. I love it here. I've had, this is where we used to come and wheel in high school, and this is just so amazing to get to come back.
Superb stuff. Now, there's a lot of water out there on course. Are you going to be doing anything different, wearing a suit over the top of your normal race suit, or are you just going to take it like a man?
I'm surprised to hear you say it's a lot of water. The times I raced with you in Wales and other places, this is a really dry day.
Well, yeah, but that's a completely different part of the world. In America, you don't usually race in this much water.
I don't think I'm going to do anything different. I've got a broke hand. We're going to go for the smoother, not faster, and just go. I'm not going to hurt the car in the water.
Now, we've been talking a lot about the rock that's out here. There's a lot of sort of scooped out pockets that cause these sharp edges. Tyres are going to be a big issue here. Are you going to think racing smart rather than racing fast is the way to win this?
It's going to be a balance. It's the guy that's the fastest and smartest, because you push that limit and don't have a flat, you're winning.
Yeah, that's very, very true. But it's that fine line. That's that fine line between success and failure that's going to be the big difference here. And let's be honest, if you get a flat, we're reckoning that the average lap time is going to be probably something around the 12-minute mark, and you've got to limp in, or do you stop and make that change out on course?
We kind of drew a line out there. If we have a flat before, we'll change it because of a few things. If not, we're going to run it to the pit.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Now, we're watching these Broncos out on course. Aren't they incredible? We watched Brad Level there putting in a 31.8. We got Vaughn Gittin Jr. We saw him putting in a 32.3, and Bailey Cole with a 33. Is there anyone who can beat these Broncos this weekend?
I don't know. I haven't honestly looked at the stock class cars to see what's here.
Yeah, no, there are some remarkable vehicles out there, that's for sure. But who's your big guns in your class? You're going to be racing in the 4900s this weekend. I mean, obviously, we've seen so many people out there. There's been such a growth in this sport. I mean, Paul Wolf's a name that we've got to talk about. I mean, where's this guy come from?
I love Paul, and he's got such a good heart, and he's always hanging out in the pit with his family. He's just good. He deserves this. I mean, if I'm going to pick somebody to win besides myself, it'd be Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want somebody to. So, is that our first UTV?
Yeah, it looks like we've got the first UTVs out on track now. But, I'm just trying to work out how many UTVs we actually have racing. I believe it's 46 UTVs out there at 4900, and look at the pace of these guys. It's absolutely remarkable. It's the growth in the 4900 class that I find quite remarkable. So many different manufacturers coming on in, so many different independents making parts for these vehicles, and you see the differences in the vehicles as they're racing, as the next one thunders off the line.
Well, honestly, Jim, the UTV is the most bang for the buck. You can get in a new Can-Am, and it is the closest thing I've drove to being in a trophy truck. It gives you that rush and that feel, and the dollars don't even equate to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And already Jake Godfrey, our first UTV off the line, he's broken that magic 30-second mark, coming in at a 28.4. That's quick.
Took an entirely different line there.
Yeah, but that's the nice thing about this course. It's an A to B course, but there is multiple lines out there for the guys who want to find it. That's my idea of a race course.
Curious how his time is with that other line.
Yeah, that other line there brings him in with a 33.999.
Oh, McClure taking off right now. So my first trip down here and was with Mike McClure. He actually got me in the rocks for the first times.
That's what I like about this. Bit of history, bit of finding out all about this, but look at that shot there. The trees are in full winter.
Yeah, Mike's been doing this a really long time, clear back to the XRA days when the Brian Shirley and Mike and Jay Hawkinson were my first experiences in the rocks.
Oh, look at this. Full power into the water. Kicks it to the side and makes his way to the arch.
All right, Jim.
And Mike
I better go get in the car.
Indeed. Great to see you there, Terry. Good luck on your run. And Mike McClure crosses the line with a 33.
Thanks.
So still leading at the moment is Jake Godfrey as Miles joins me back in on the booth. And we have more racing here, and another vehicle leaves the line.
Well, thank you, Terry. That was a great little intersection. We've got cars all over this course. It's going to be an absolutely amazing day. Qualifying just kicked off for the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. And the fastest of the day thus far is Jake Godfrey with that 28.481. And this is Mike Park, the number 904.
You just see him there before he hits the water. He slams his visor down, takes the water, and crosses the line.
So Mike Park out of Callahan, Florida with team 904.
Mike Park crosses the line there in a 34.6. So steady run there from Mike. But still our current leader in the 4900 class at the moment is 440 Jake Godfrey with a 28.4.
So I believe Tyler Gibbs just takes off. The number 926 out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky. He's in the 4900 Pro Mod class with a Can-Am, MRT, Method, Fox, G-Force, tire splines, KWI clutching. And let me give you a quick rundown on the UTV class. This is the 4900 Can-Am UTV classes. We have 3 classes qualifying all at the same time. They'll be racing all at the same time, but scored separately. We have the stock production class with an OEM chassis, 1000 max engine, 33-inch tires, must-run stock suspension pickup points. Reinforcing is allowed.
Indeed. Then, of course, we've got the Pro Modified UTVs based on an OME chassis. Aftermarket chassis are allowed. Must use stock suspension pickup points. Reinforcing is allowed also. Must run full front plastics. A maximum of 1000cc engine. And aftermarket turbos are allowed, and up to a 35-inch tire.
And then we also running the 4900 Can-Am UTV class open. And open, build what you want, everything. It just has to have a 1000cc engine. And Jim, you called it earlier, Albert Contreras had that flat tire. Well, during pre-running and now qualifying, he's out of tires. He's gone through all of his tires. So if anybody has any 35-inch DOT tires, Albert Contreras is looking for him.
Wow, are we calling that? And already we got problems before the race. That's amazing.
That was the 817 of Brian Hamby out of Winchester, Tennessee with Limited Budget Racing.
I was racing in Portugal a few weeks ago, and I actually managed to eat my way through 10 tires out there, so I feel his pain.
And up next, Mr. Jason Tidwell, number 778, out of Gravette, Arkansas with PST Racing. He's in the 4900 stock class with a Can-Am, KMC, Fox, AMS, BFG, and Vision. Jim, this has been a great day thus far. It's doing good. And it sounds like Jeremy Purick, have Albert Contreras come find Jeremy Purick. He's got some tires for you. But yeah, Jim, this has been a great a great morning of qualifying thus far. It's a little brisk out this morning, but it's going to be a beautiful day.
It is indeed. We're wrapped up very, very tightly here, that's for sure. But they do say it's Legends of the Fall, so I was expecting it to be a bit chilly. So let's just have a quick look at the top 3 in the UTV class, the 4900s. So in third position is Mike McClure with a 33.06. In second place is Jason Tidwell with a 32.34. And there's Jake Godfrey, who was first off the line. He's got a 28.48 and looking commanding right now.
And off the line is Thomas Ram with Alex Flanagan out of Fenton, Michigan with 589 Fabrication. He's got a Can-Am Double E-Tune Fox, Icon, Maxxis, and Method race wheels. And speaking about Method, this is the Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall here at the Grand South Lake Recreation Area.
It's a bit of a mouthful.
It's been a day.
It has, and we've only barely got started. But just look at this. Now the crowds are starting to build. People are starting to turn up here. Tomorrow we're reckoning on having thousands of fans out here to watch this incredible race take place.
And this is building up everything for the Nitto National Championship.
We're watching our race director there. JT Taylor breaks out the green flag and sends the next one off the line.
The number 113 of Aaron Lynch out of Powell, Tennessee with MFN Performance. He's in a Can-Am MFN Performance, Lynch Works, Performance Side-by-Side Bushings, and MRT. His first Ultra 4 race was Rush, Kentucky last year.
We're just watching him making his way through. There's a lot of people who are a little bit unsure about this qualifying course, but it's going down a storm. Oh, look at this full commitment here as he makes his way through the timing loop.
Thank you. Thank you. And off the line next is the number 24, Cole Clark, out of Cortez, Colorado, with Jimmy's 4x4. He's an RMS-built Polaris RS1 turbo drivetrain, KMC, rugged, PRP, RCV, HCR, ZRP, and GBC.
Yeah, we just watched Thomas Ram there. He's coming in, put himself into second position with a 29.6. So a great run there from Thomas. And also an awesome run from Aaron Lynch slightly early on. I think we might have missed that with a 30.18. So great stuff. Oh, look at this across the line.
And Cole Clark is in second position in the Western Series points.
Yes, but he's in first position at the moment. He pips Jake Godfrey by 0.2 of a second to take the provisional pole position here in the 4900 class at Legends of the Fall. Okay, so we're just watching Brian Stone there out on course, and we've got a time for him very, very shortly.
Brian Stone, number 5012, out of Edders, Pennsylvania. And off the line next is the number 47 of Donnie Callenbeck, out of Cypress, Texas, with DKA Motorsports, running the 4900 Open class.
And
Polaris.
You're not going to believe this. Brian Stone's just put it into first position with a 28.2, literally. You're not going to believe this, less than 0.1 of a second ahead of that flying Cole Clark.
Wow, this is going to be an amazing day of qualifying, getting everything set up for this afternoon. We start racing at noon with the 4600 Spider Track stock class, and then at 2 o'clock we race the 4900 Can-Am UTV class.
Yeah, you're not going to believe this. Our current top three are separated by less than half a second.
That is absolutely amazing. Up off the line as we speak is Cody Quattlebaum out of Macon, Georgia, with Bandit Off-Road Racing. He's in a Polaris Turbo Razor, Warren, Branik, MRT, Rugged, OGO, Cass Lakes Metals, Trinity Racing, Aftermarket Assassins, Kryptonite, KWT Filters. Help him get to that start line.
He's looking nice and smooth there, picking his way through. Everything looking good. Got to keep it smooth. Smooth is fast. Picks his way across. And there he goes, straight across the timing loop to take a time. Let's not forget, we are racing in 3 different classes here today. And Cody crosses the line with a 35, putting him in 10th position.
And sitting in second place in the East Series, Mr. Jeremy Blackburn out of Pikeville, Kentucky, with On the Gas Racing in a Polaris RS1, Tusk, Walker, G-Force, Alba, and Kong Off-Road. What an amazing day of qualifying it has been so far, and it is not close to being over. But we need to give a huge shout-out to Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive,
King Shocks, Laser Nut, Griffin Radiator, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto Tires, Holly EFI, and King of the Hammers.
Spider Tracks, Recaro Seats, Baja Jerky, and Wheelin'.
AMS Oil, Method Race Wheels, Axle RC Cars, and PCI Race Radios.
Off the Grid Clothing, MBRP, Yukon Gear and Axle, HCR, Warren, and Factor 55.
ARB, Rigid, Branik Motorsports, Tread Lightly, and Action Sports Canopies.
So please support who supports the sport. Without all those amazing marketing partners, we would not be racing here today for the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall here in South Grand Lake Recreation Area.
Boys, we're watching our next runner out on course. Let's have a quick catch up with the top 3. In third position at the moment in 4900, it is Jake Godfrey with a 28.481. In second, it's Cole Clark with a 28.261. And Brian Stone pips in by the post with a 28.239. Just how incredibly close is that?
And Cameron Zollers out of Canton, Ohio just made his run with Cam's Motorsports. We'll get a time for him shortly. But taking off next is Mr. Tyler Gibbs out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky, in a Can-Am with MRT, Method, Fox, G-Force, Tire Spines, and KWI clutching.
And Cameron Zollers there crosses the line in 12th position with a 35.45.
If you are just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. We are live from the Nitto studio Getting everything geared up for the Nitto National Championship. But today it's all about the Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall. Again, I'm Miles Hasquist alongside my good buddy, Jim Marsden.
We have so much action here for you today. So we've already seen the 4600 stock classes qualifying. And now we're the 4900s. After this, it will be the 4500 stock modifieds. And then the 4800 legend class. And then, of course, is the big guns, the 4400 class. Showing us what they can do. Now, Miles, we're seeing already these UTVs tearing down this times. Oh, we've got, you're not going to believe this. I'll come to that in a moment as we're just watching another car coming in now.
That was Aiden Gilbert. That is Casey Gilbert's son. He was riding shotgun out of Fenton, Michigan with Gilbert Brothers Racing.
Yeah, while we're slightly unsighted there's been a change in the lead. Tyler Gibbs is actually coming in first position with a 26.08.
Wow, what a great morning
run there from Tyler Gibbs.
Qualifying. Off the line just now is Heath Taylor with James King riding shotgun, number 182 out of Pea Ridge, Arkansas with Taylor Racing. Part of the 4900 stock class with a Polaris Razor, BFG, Warren, and Walker Evans. Looks like Melissa Barker's tuned in. We appreciate you checking it out. Oh, Heath Taylor tips her over just before the line. Remember, there is no outside assistance other than safety.
Yeah, he's not getting out of that one without some help.
And remember, it's 45 degrees outside, and they're going to have to get a little wet to get out of there.
Yeah, no one likes to see that, but the safety crews will be there. You can already see there's people watching, making sure that they're okay. And there's one of the course safety cars making his way around now. So, Miles, just let's have a look at this top four here. We saw Jake Godfrey, one of the first 4900 cars off the line this morning, throwing down a 28.81. Then we saw Cole Clark putting down a 28.261. And unbelievably, Brian Stone, by literally tenths of a second, 28.239. And then Tyler Gibbs with that incredible run at 26.082.
That is absolutely amazing. Hey, Jim, let's get him another rundown on how the 4900 Can-Am UTV class is split up. We have three different classes.
Yeah, we have to look at this. In fact, we've got 4 different classes, but we're not running the 4th class here for this weekend. So we're not doing that. So let's just have a look at them. So very first is the easy one, which is our stock production UTV, normally aspirated and turbo. It has to have an original manufacturer chassis, a maximum of 1,000cc engine, a maximum of 33-inch tyre. It must use a stock suspension pickup points, although they are allowed to be reinforced. The front body must have the original side plastics and the front plastics, and the rear bed can be trimmed to fit a spare tyre. But otherwise, it's got to look stock.
It's got to look like a UTV you can buy off the showroom floor. It's got to have all the safety equipment installed. But other than that, this is the easiest way to get into Ultra 4 USA racing.
It is indeed, and let's be honest, you can buy one of these for less than $30,000. And now there's also a great many used machines on the market. So there's never been a cheaper way to come out here and join us in racing. Now, what's the next class, Miles?
This is the Pro Modified UTV class. This is kind of the heavy hitter class here. It's based on an OEM chassis, but aftermarket chassis are allowed. You must run stock suspension pickup points. Reinforcing is allowed. You must run the full front plastics, but you can do the back, kind of race it up a little bit. 1,000cc maximum engine. Aftermarket turbos are allowed, and you can run up to a 35-inch tire.
Yeah, and then, of course, it is the crazy class. It's the open UTV class. Basically, anything goes, 1,000cc maximum.
Yeah, it's going to be it's a fun class to watch. It looks like Travis Cook and Benji are trying to help out Heath Taylor, get him flopped over. Looks like everybody is out of the car and okay.
Yeah, I've got to say a massive thank you to our marshals, our core staff here, and also all of our helpers. We can't run this race without you, so thank you so much.
And while you're giving some thanks, let's give a huge shout out to Jason and Gayla Robinette with Mid-America Outdoors. And like you said, all of our volunteers, the Ultra 4 staff, the MAO crew, media safety, USAC, racers, and fans. Without all of that coming together, we would not be racing here today.
Absolutely. cannot be underestimated. And also to our fantastic sponsors, Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4 Wheel Parts and Progressive Insurance.
King Shocks, Lasernut, Griffin Race Radiators, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto, Holly FI, and King of the Hammers.
AMSOIL, Method Race Wheels, XLRC Cars and PCI Race Radios.
Wheelin', Baja Jerky, RECARO Seats, and Spider Tracks.
Now, Mars, we're just watching this recovery go on here. There's going to be so much action to be seen across this entire weekend. What are you really looking forward to?
I mean, qualifying's fun. This is great, but the race is going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see how this shakes out. This is where I started coming wheeling 20 years ago. So all these iconic trails we have out here, the Waterfall, Viagra, Little Blue, I am the Grand Staircase. I am so excited to see it at full-on blown race pace. We've had a good old boy race out here a couple times, but just buddies out here goofing off. But have an actual sanctioned event, this is going to be absolutely mental.
Yeah, I have to say, coming from Europe, I find it staggering that we're allowed to race here at all, if I'm completely honest. And I've got to say a massive shout out to the guys and girls at Mid-America Off-Road for negotiating the passes to be able to get us down here and allow us to put this event on.
Yeah, I was in a couple of the meetings. They had a lot more than that with the GRDA, the Grand River Dam Authority, and it's just great to see everybody kind of mend together and put this on. We've been working with the town of Langley, we've been working with the town of Disney, and we are here racing for the first time ever for the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall. This is getting everything lined up. We've been racing all year long, and it comes down to this last final race for the Ultra 4 Nitto National Championship.
Now, we watched this car dropping in here, and it was just a classic mistake, wasn't it? It just drove one wheel off the edge instead of going down square. Should have throttled out, forgot how to drive for a momentarily, and the next thing you know, you're on your side. It all happens so fast, and it's so easy to be an armchair expert.
So tough break for Heath Taylor. And his co-driver, James King, is actually riding with Tin Hooper later on today as well. So James King is getting a little...
Do you know what? I'm watching that, Mars. I wonder if he's got a front differential problem there. That front wheel does not seem to be turning. If that's the case, that could have been the cause of the rollover. If he dropped into that hole and that front wheel didn't drive.
Or maybe he broke it from the roll as well.
Yeah,
you never know.
possible. But it certainly didn't look like it was driving as it should.
And don't forget, tonight at 4 p.m., we're going to have the race cars up on the main street. We're going to shut that thing completely down, come up, meet some of your drivers. We are kind of have a trunk or treat up there. We're going to give a ton of candy away, and then have a driver appreciation dinner, and then some live music. We have Aces Wild, and then Casey Donahue. I know it's not your style of music, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a good shindig tonight at Downtown Disney.
I'm looking forward to it, mate. Everything's an education for me, so let's see what happens.
And if you're heading up that way, check out the Mid-America and Ultra 4 merchandise trailer. We have Angel, Carly Bailey. They've been up there all week long selling some swag, so make sure you go check them out. They've got lots of hats, lots of shirts. And this morning, you may want to go down and get a hoodie.
Yeah, I think I might get 2 hoodies. It's that cold this morning, Miles. But
the sun is coming up. I just felt it about 5 minutes ago, starting to get that little brisk off my hands.
Okay, so we're nearly ready to go back to the action here at the Legends of the Fall 2022. This is the big lockout. This is the finale of the Ultra 4 race season for 2022. And
it's a double points race. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And then here in just a couple of months, it's King of the Hammers, the first Ultra 4 USA race of the season, February 2nd through the 11th. That's a do-not-miss race. But like you said, the entire year of racing comes down to this one final race. The teams will be leaving everything on the line. We just saw it this morning and this afternoon and starting tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah, yesterday was an entire day of pre-running for the teams. And we saw some guys out there who are on course for as much as up to 5 hours, can you believe?
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty wild show for sure.
Okay, and we are live.
And number 188, Mr. Terry Madden, a Mid-America Outdoor brand ambassador out of Yucca Valley, California with Terry Madden Racing.
Okay, he's just turning around and going back for some reason, so...
Not quite sure what happened there, if he had a mechanical or... So we'll try to get some confirmation from Terry Madden. Not sure what happened there.
Terry's, of course, nursing a broken hand, so I do hope that nothing's happened to him physically.